Welcome to Your Place. I'm your host, Lexi Price. I'm a master certified life coach, a women's wellness coach, and an integrative health practitioner coming soon. This episode is all about helping you to stop feeling lonely and to start feeling that connection that you're craving. If you wake up some days and you just feel like you have no support, no one who understands, and this big hole in your heart, this episode's for you. This episode is going to help you to find the connection with not only others, but yourself. Come along. And today we're going to be talking about loneliness. This is something that I've struggled with my whole entire life. I would say it has been the thing that has kept me stuck probably 90% of my life, and is the root of a lot of my fear and anxiety that happens, is this fear of being alone, this fear of feeling lonely, not really having someone to go to, not having friends, not having just like this support system. And I think it's really common for all of us at some point in our life to feel lonely. And I want to tell you why it's common. I want to tell you why we're feeling it. I want to help you understand what kind of goes on in our bodies that is kind of creating this loneliness feeling, how to deal with it in a positive, happy, healthy way. Okay, I have my cheat sheet guide kind of below. So if you see me kind of looking down, that's what I'm looking at. I want to make sure that I touch on all the points that I've created for this for you guys. So let's talk about this, okay? Let's talk about loneliness. There are moments in our lives where we just feel completely alone. We feel not only alone emotionally and mentally, but we can feel alone physically. We can feel alone in a spiritual way. We can feel alone in a lot of situations, feeling as though people just don't understand exactly what you're going through, right? How many times have you gone to a friend or a family member to tell them how you're feeling and you felt shut down and felt like your feelings were not validated? They're just pushed under the rug, stop feeling like that, get over it, push it aside. And that makes us feel lonely. There are situations where we might be hanging out on the weekends. It's a Friday and Saturday and we're with a bunch of friends, but we feel as though no one's paying attention. No one's asking us questions. No one's really caring about anything going on in our lives. I don't know about you, but that one happens to me all the time. You're with people, but emotionally and mentally, you're not feeling as though that connection is there. Another one is maybe on the weekends or weekdays, you get back from work or you have, 5 hours, 4 hours on the weekend and you're like, what do? I don't have people to go do things with. And so you stay at home by yourself and you feel this physical loneliness of just not having people there to support you or to be with. And it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming to feel like you don't have people in your life that you can reach out to and do things with. Okay, so loneliness is hard, okay? It's physical, it's mental, it's emotional. And if you're listening to this right now, then you're probably going through something like that, or you have gone through something like that, or you will go through something like this. And so I want you to know that you're not the only one. You're not the only one that is going through this right now. So many people are. I have been and am currently, in a lot of ways, feeling lonely. And that is okay. It's normal. It means you're human. And actually, it shows that you're in a very healthy spot mentally and emotionally. There's been a lot of scientific studies that have shown that people who are able and capable of feeling lonely are actually very healthy human beings. Okay? So it's a win if you're feeling lonely. Okay? I want to talk today about 3 things, okay? We're going to start with talking what is loneliness actually, okay? What does that actually mean to be lonely? Number 2, why do we feel it? What causes the loneliness? And 3, how do we process it? How do we work through? How do we get rid of loneliness, okay? How do we stop feeling as much loneliness, all right? And to start off, I want you to take a deep breath, okay? I want you to get into this. I want you to kind of lean in to what I'm going to share with you today, because it's going to really help you and really change your life. These 3 things that we're going to learn today are powerful. Okay. It's the things that have taught me a lot, that have helped me through a lot of different situations in my life. And they're going to help you to kind of get out of your rut. So let's start. Okay, let's talk about what is loneliness. All right, loneliness isn't just being alone. It is actually just feeling disconnected. Okay, you could be surrounded, right, in a room filled with people that you know, that you love, and still feel lonely. It's because loneliness is not the quantity of people, it's about the quality of people. Okay, let me say that again. Loneliness is not about having 1,000 friends and having the quantity of people in your life. It's about having the quality of people in your life. We want quality connection that actually fills us and doesn't deplete us, right? There's so many times that we're around friends or family and it leaves us with an empty cup. It leaves us feeling less excited, less hyper, less happy, and instead leaves us drained. Okay, so that leads to loneliness and feeling as though we don't have people around us. So we want to kind of think of loneliness as this emotional hunger. Okay, your body is telling you, I'm starving for connection. And it's not about, it's about, I need to be seen and heard and loved. That's what we're craving. We're craving to be seen, heard, and loved. Okay, there's a difference between being in solitude and feeling lonely, right? When we are in solitude, having a me day, as I like to call it, it allows us to find peace, healing, and really self-reflect. Those days are great. You know, there's some times that being alone is great and it's amazing, and being in solitude alone in nature or in your room and just being able to have like this time with you is great. And then there's times where we're alone physically, we feel lonely, okay? And that's what is hard to kind of manage, right? I want to clarify this real quick, okay? Loneliness is the feeling of rejection, abandonment, or not being chosen. Let me say that again, write this down. Loneliness is going to be linked with any time you feel rejected, abandoned, or not chosen. Now that's powerful to remember because anything in your life that triggers those feelings of abandonment, those feelings of feeling chosen, those feelings of feeling rejected, even in the past, maybe you grew up and you felt very rejected by your parents. Maybe you felt very abandoned by them. Maybe you had a lot of friends just not choose you, or you were never chosen on the soccer team and you were the last one picked. Those are going to trigger that loneliness throughout your life, okay? And so it's important for us to realize that, oh, here's my loneliness being triggered by having a boy friend zone me, or not being chosen by this boss who you just got interviewed by, okay? So loneliness is all encompassing of all those things. Okay, now let's be clear, all right? Loneliness is not a weakness. Okay, it's not a flaw. It's just a signal that we're craving connection. Okay, it's a loving signal from our nervous system that's telling us, hey, I need closeness, support, and understanding right now. And here's the beautiful part. This signal can be responded to. You're not stuck in it and you're not broken. Let me repeat that again. You feeling lonely is not a weakness, it's not a flaw, it's a signal that you're hungry for closeness, support, and understanding. And we can respond to that. You're not broken and you're not stuck in loneliness, okay? So let's talk about, why do we even feel lonely, okay? Like, I'm sick of feeling lonely. I'm sure you're thinking in your head, what do I do? Okay, so let's talk about the why we feel lonely. Okay, why do you feel lonely even when you're connecting more than ever? Okay, the truth is, we are biologically wired for connection. We crave it. Okay, and this is why. Thousands of years ago, being alone meant that you're going to be in danger. Being alone as a caveman meant that you're not going to have food. You're not going to have someone to watch your back at night when you're sleeping. You needed a tribe to survive. So your brain has evolved sending those same warnings when you feel isolated. Okay? Our brains haven't caught up with the fact that when we have those same feelings of isolation, that we don't belong in a tribe, like we don't belong in a friend group, or we don't belong in a family, we start to feel like something's wrong because our minds have been trained to view that as a threat. Okay, so that's why we feel lonely, is because we feel as though we are not a part. Okay, this is what's happening kind of in our brains. Okay, we have the part of our brain called the amygdala. Okay, this is the part of the brain that processes fear. All right, and so when we feel lonely, it lights up and says, you're feeling left out, you're feeling rejected, you're feeling abandoned. And your brain instantly feels unsafe, and your body becomes unsafe. And that's when you start to feel lonely. Okay? The crazy thing in life is we have all of these invisible walls. Okay? Those can be when we're scrolling social media. And when we scroll social media, we see other people and we see their highlight reels, and we suddenly feel we don't belong because we're not invited to that trip they went on. Or maybe we just don't have social media, or we don't like to be on social media and we feel like we don't fit in. Maybe our bodies don't look like the people you see on Instagram, or we don't make as much money, we don't have as nice of houses or clothes. Those things are going to help make us feel like we don't fit in. We aren't a part of the tribe. And that's going to make us feel disconnected and make us feel lonely. Isn't that interesting? Okay. So as you're scrolling social media, I want you to try to recognize, am I being triggered to feel lonely? Am I feeling triggered that I'm not a part of the tribe, of a group of people? Okay. Maybe you're going through a season of change. Maybe you just had a breakup. Maybe you're moving somewhere. Maybe you're healing from chronic symptoms. Maybe you're distancing yourself from people who you no longer feel safe with. These transitions can trigger a deep emotional loneliness. And I'm going through this right now. I've had a lot of health problems to the point where I had to move home and see a ton of doctors. I had rashes all over my body. I was bloated all the time. I was so sick. And a lot of this had to do with emotional baggage that I wasn't processing very well. And the other part had to do with I was really sick with mold and bacteria and viruses and parasites and all of that stuff as well, and an autoimmune disease. So it's hard when you feel as though I have no one who understands what I'm going through. I have no one who supports me, right? There was a lot of change going on. I emotionally was so up and down, and that was hard for me. And the change made me feel as though I was lonely. Maybe you hang out with a group of friends and they've been your best friends for so long, but you're realizing that like maybe they're not as good of friends as you thought they were. And they're talking crap about you, and they're not inviting you, and they're not treating you the way that you want to be treated. And that's okay, but it's going to make you and trigger a little bit of loneliness because you're going through that change. Okay, so that's another reason why we might be in this loneliness stage. Okay, so as I'm going through this, start recognizing, like, is this happening in my life? Oh, this is why I feel lonely. Okay, many of us have never learned to connect with ourselves also. Okay, so we've been taught, like, oh, don't go sit in your room by yourself all the time. Or if no one else is around, you need to panic. Because we don't know how to sit with ourselves. We sit on the phone. We sit with our friends. We sit with activities. We're a go, 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 go society. And the problem with that is we are now not capable of sitting by ourselves and just being with ourselves. Like, do you know yourself? Do you know what you truly want and need and feel? Have you sat with yourself for 30 minutes to 4 hours? Or do you feel anxious? I was that person. I could not be alone. I was so used to being with people 24/7. I served a mission for my church, was with a companion, what they call another girl, the entire time. I was never alone. And coming home, I always had roommates and I always had friends. And I never was able to fully be alone until I went through kind of this health journey. And now I've had to learn how to really be alone because I was too sick to go to the gym. I was too sick to hang out with friends. I was just not capable. And through that, I learned that it's okay to be alone and to sit with yourself. Okay. So I think that's another thing to loneliness that we kind of need to embrace is, how can I start to learn how to be by myself and not feel lonely? Okay, and we're going to go through a kind of how to do that. So I want you to remember a few things about why we feel lonely. Okay, one is we're probably feeling like we don't belong to our tribe or our group. Okay, and when this happens, our brain sends a signal that I'm alone, and an alarm goes off that you're in danger. But all I want you to remember is, when that happens, I'm just human. I'm just feeling a little lonely, and that is okay. That's what I want you to tell yourself. It brings down the anxiety of like, I shouldn't feel alone. What am I going to do? I need to go be with people. I need to do this. And now you're desperate and frantic, and now you have anxiety along with loneliness. Or you're the opposite and you're like, I'm so depressed. I'm so lonely, and I'm going to stay in my bed and I'm going to curl up and just not do anything. Okay? Either way, it's fine. But we want to kind of bring it back to like, it's okay to feel lonely. It's not going to kill me. I'm safe. I'm okay. That's all your body needs to hear is, I'm safe. I'm okay. All right. So now let's talk about how we can process the loneliness. All right. So how do we work with our loneliness instead of being swallowed up in it? I'm going to share with you a few steps that are going to help you. All right. Step one is we are going to acknowledge it without shame. Okay. I want you to say it out loud. When that feeling comes up, we're going to say, I feel alone right now. And you're going to give yourself permission to name it instead of numbing it. What this looks like is, I go on Instagram and I scroll, and I see a picture of my friends and they all went to California without me. And so I start to feel lonely. I'm like, I don't even have friends who invite me to this trip. Now I say, oh, there I am feeling really lonely right now. Like, that's okay. I got you. You get to have your back, okay? It's just an emotion. And all an emotion is chemicals being released from our mind, from our brain, into our body. That's it. And so you can say, I'm safe. Numbing it would look like this. Getting on Instagram, seeing that picture, starting to spiral a little bit, thinking like, I'm so lonely. And it would be sitting on TikTok for the next hour and a half. Or sleeping for an hour. Okay, not that saying that those are wrong. I'm just saying those are probably going to numb it instead of process it. And if we don't process it, it just sits and builds and builds and builds and builds. All right. Number 2 way to process it. Okay, so we've allowed it, we've acknowledged it, no shame. We don't feel bad about feeling lonely. We ask ourselves, what am I truly needing? Okay, why do you feel alone? What are you craving? Who are you craving? What need is not being met? Okay, it might not be a crowd of people that you need. It might be an intimate conversation. It might be safety. It might be understanding. It might be your own presence, time with yourself. And you need to start trying different things, because it's not going to be all at once. You know, you start to feel lonely and you're like, oh, I know what I need. I need to go talk to my best friend. It might be that. It might be just reaching out to a friend and saying, hey, I'm feeling super lonely today. Like, can we just go on a walk? Could be that. It also could be, I just feel really lonely today and I'm just going to have like a me night and take myself on a really cute date. I'm going to go get sushi. I'm going to go paint and I'm going to go watch a movie and go to bed. So you're going to kind of try to figure out what those needs are that aren't being met. Instead of taking loneliness as, I need to go be with people, or I have no one in my life. There's a deeper need that's not being met that you need to kind of figure out what it is. All right. So number 3 is called self-soothe. Okay. Our nervous system has been triggered, right? We talked about how our brains our lights are on saying that there's some type of danger. And so we need to calm it down. And this is the way you're going to do it. You're going to place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. You're going to breathe in and you're going to breathe out. And I want you to do that 10 times. And I want you to say to yourself, I am not alone. I am loved. I am supported. And even though I can't see it, I know that it's true. Because I've got you. You have God who's got you. Okay? And so I want you to say that over and over again. Okay? I am not alone. I am loved, I am supported, and even if I can't see it, I know I am. Because people care, okay? As much as we think they don't, they do. We are all humans, we all have hearts. If you don't, you're a psychopath, okay? People do care. I'm here for you. This is your place to feel safe. If you feel alone and feel you have no one, you go slide into my DMs and call me and I will be there for you, right? Another thing that you can do to self-soothe, and my favorite thing, is go on a walk. Move your body, okay? Even though you probably don't want to, you're gonna move your body, go on a walk, cry, stretch. Okay, we want to try to let that energy move through us. When we're stagnant, what happens is all that energy surging through our body just builds up. Again, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Instead, we really want to kind of let it flow out of us through walking, which is the best therapy. I'm obsessed with it. Crying is also a great way because all it's doing is releasing the extra chemicals from your body. That's all crying is it's our body's way of getting rid of the extra chemicals that our body released when we were in that fight or flight mode. Okay. Fourth is seek connection, but gently. Okay. This doesn't mean that we're going to go to a huge party when we're feeling lonely and then we're going to all of a sudden feel better. Maybe sometimes that's going to work. But instead of that, I want you to just try to reach out to someone you feel comfortable and safe with. Maybe text a friend and see how they're doing. Maybe text a few friends and just ask, hey, how's your day? I miss you. How are you? Been thinking about you. Go for a walk and smile at a stranger. Okay? Start small. You don't need to make this huge, deep conversation happen right away. All right? Just open the door to some type of connection, and this is going to help you feel a lot less lonely. Okay? And if you feel like no one gets you, keep going. Your people are out there and they are looking for you too. I have a very, very strong testimony about this principle of when you look for people in your life that you need, you're going to find them because they're looking for people just like you to be in their life and they need you. And every single time in my life where that's been the case, as I go and I just go to church or I go to activities or I just go on a walk or I go to a workout class or I go to work itself, there are always people who come in my path at the exact right time who I needed, but also they needed me. Okay? So just remember, you're not alone. Seek that connection. Do the little small things. Reach out to someone you haven't talked to for forever. Call a family member. They don't need to be your age. Sometimes I call my aunt and she just soothes my soul. Okay? Number 5 is the last thing. It's called reframing being alone. All right? I want you to start thinking about being alone, time alone. It's not proof that you're unlovable. I think a lot of times we think that if we are alone all the time, it means that no one loves us and that no one will ever love us. That's not true. It's actually an invitation to meet yourself again. I want you to be your best friend. I want you to be that person you love to hang out with because you're so fun and you just love yourself. Have you met those people who just don't care about hanging out with people and they're just fine being by themselves all the time, or they just are so happy and radiate that light because they love who they are inside? Being alone and having that time with yourself is going to help you be that person who loves yourself, who sees yourself, takes care of yourself. I kind of like to imagine myself as if inside of me there's a little girl who needs love and care and attention. And that's true. Each of us are little kids in big kids' bodies. We're growing up, but we still have that little kid that needs love and attention. So be that person for yourself, all right? I want you to try creating little rituals for yourself. Tea and journaling, or reading, or dancing, or praying, or walking barefoot in the grass. Little things that you do for yourself every single day to really get to know yourself and love yourself. All right? You are your safest home. You can't find this connection in the way that you're wanting deeper than you can find it in yourself. When you've found connection deep within yourself, you're able to connect deeper with the people around you. Okay? That's really powerful to think about. Lastly, I want to share with you this. Okay? You are never truly alone. I want you to close your eyes right now for a moment. Unless you're driving, let's not close our eyes. And I want you to picture this, okay? You're standing in the middle of a quiet field. The sky is a deep blue or a bright blue with no clouds. The grass is green and you're standing barefoot. That grass, you can feel it all under your feet. To the right, you see a huge tree. To the left, you see a pond with ducks and they're quacking. And there's a mama duck and her baby ducks. And you're not alone. Around you is a circle of light. It's warm, it's golden, and it's comforting. That light is love. That light is your family. Not just here on this earth, but your grandparents who have passed on, your aunt and uncles who have passed on, your siblings who have passed on, your loved ones who have passed on. And they are there and they are hugging you and they are cheering you on. It is every woman who has ever felt your feeling there with you. It is God. It is your Savior, Jesus Christ, hugging you and loving you. That light is your future self coming and smiling down at you and saying, keep going. You are so deeply loved. Even in the silence, you are never truly alone. You were created in connection. And the first connection is within yourself. I want you to know that you are worth every bit of love. And God has an eternal love that is never ending. Our Savior, Jesus Christ, loves you more than you will ever know. He knows your struggles. He knows your fears. He knows the lonely days that you feel. But He is there with you, being that light in that field, hugging you and embracing you and cheering for you because He knows that it's gonna be okay. If anything in this episode really spoke to you, I'd like to give you something just a little bit extra because I love you. I want you to go to my Instagram page and DM me the word alone. And I'm going to send you a free link to a coaching call with me. It can be 30 minutes to an hour free of my time to you. And let's talk about the times that you're feeling lonely and let's work through them. Let me be your support because you deserve that. You deserve to feel support and love and comfort. And if you know someone who needs this, send it their way. Let's normalize being lonely so that no one has to carry it in silence. I love you all. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for listening. Thank you for choosing to start healing. This is your place, and I'm so glad you're here.